hookers and the hotel room. So skip a few years down the road, in the car with my latest girlfriend, I said to her in jest, "Hey, we should get married." "Okay," she said. So we got married. I'd known this girl for 3 years. We'd built up a successful company together with a turnover of 3.2 million. We started off well, no holes barred sex every day. Well, quite literally, every hole was fair game. After yet another very heated argument one day, where I'd been punched in the face and sustained a split lip, I decided to fuck off and go. Down to the safe and a withdrawal of 25k in cash. I threw the loot in the boot. Hey, that rhymes. Stopped off from a dealer and off licence and set off for the best hotel Bedford had to offer. A spa, a gym. This was a little piece of luxury. The room I rented for a week was £315 a night. See, I planned to spend every bit of that 25k on wine, women and badly sung songs. I'm sitting in the room bored. There you go. When I'm bored, the abusive, self-harming behaviour begins. I look through the local newspaper for an escort. Well, a massage really. I'm wired off my face. I could hardly see straight. I call a number and a strange sounding man answers the call with very few people skills. "What do you need, mate?" "I need 2 ladies for 2 hours," I replied. We agree a price of 400 and I went off for a quick wank after I put the phone down, readying myself for what was to come, which was basically not me. After an hour or so, there's a knock at the door. I thought I was going to explode. I was so excited. I answer, and standing in front of me was Beauty and her non-identical twin sister. I won't use the word beast, but I'm sure you get the point. One wearing a tracksuit, one wearing a ball gown. You can imagine how this pair looked walking through the reception area. This was around the time the iPhone had come out, and I was planning on using its picture and video capabilities as much as I could. Honestly, you really would have kicked this pair out of bed. To this day, I don't know why I didn't. Well, I do know. I was horny, high and pissed, so I guess that's the reason why I didn't. I tell the girls to get off with each other. You should have seen the show. It was terrible. The fake moaning, the laughing. You could see that these girls didn't even like each other. And you could see that the second they walked into the room. I guess liking each other's a must if you're busy munching each other out. Okay, so while one's noshing me off, I decide to get my phone out. Now, don't get it twisted. Obviously not wanting to be recognised, they were a little put out with being filmed. Well, at least until I offered them 30 quid each extra. Which was where all the trouble started. For me, them, and the hotel room. Wanting to get my money's worth out of this, I asked both girls to walk over to the hotel window. Just imagine looking up whilst coming back from the Chinese, only to see 2 sets of tits up against the glass. Love it! I was going for my life. Only nothing was happening very quick my end. I blame the drugs. It's like Valium, you can never perform. So I try and finish. Yeah, an emphasis on the word try. Nip into the bathroom for a couple of lines of drugs that I'm not sharing, only to find these 2 skanks fighting on the bed when I come out. This was like a scene from St. Trinian's. 2 women fighting. Wow! I didn't even have to pay for that. Clothes and wigs were all over the bloody place. Upon seeing this and feeling slightly aroused, thinking I could whack one off quickly before they finish, I came to my senses and noticed stuff was starting to get broken. Shit I'd have to pay for. And as I'd already paid the girls, and I don't think they had a money-back policy for damages, mental or physical, I wasn't going to get away with this. I'm standing there naked with a throbbing hard-on. I reach for my phone to call Jason the pimp, who's downstairs in the car. "Buddy, you got to get these fucking girls out of here, they're wrecking the room." It seems one girl had taken the other girl's 30 I'd paid to film them. After the event, I was that disgusted with the evening, and the genital herpes I contracted from the blowy. I wonder what them scabs were around her mouth. I deleted the video, although I do picture it quite vividly to this very day. Knock at the door and a black man rushes in wearing an 80s shell suit in purple. He looked like an extra member of Run DMC. I guess this business doesn't have a clothing allowance. I'll tell you what the manager of the hotel thought to the noise and this guy running in, I'd find out the next day. This Jason must have had mind control over these women. The second they see him, they stop fighting, they shut the fuck up and sat in different corners of the room, naked, looking down at their feet. This guy obviously ruled with an iron fist, and these ladies knew their place. He tells them to get dressed. I hadn't even come. I couldn't. There are a couple of nice breast-shaped smears on the window, but nothing other than a ropey old video to try and knock one out over. They leave, thank God. I was still horny and now hungry. I reached for the newspaper. An Eastern European answered the phone and arranged to come over within an hour. So all good. An Eastern European woman, by the way. Just enough time for a plate full of scampi and chips, a quick shower, a glass of bubbles, and there's a knock at the door. Standing in front of me is a 30-year-old, well-dressed, suited, blonde female. Thinking about the other two had just been. Jeepers, we're really going from one end of the evolutionary scale to the other. This woman was cream. When I saw her, I felt embarrassed. I thought we'd got our wires crossed, and she was here for a business meeting. I actually stood there explaining why I'd called her and what she was expected to be doing. Lucky for me, no cross wires. She knew what was expected of her. I couldn't stop comparing her with the other two. I mean, they had marks on their knuckles from where they'd been walking around. I almost felt sorry for this girl. Well, not too sorry. I was planning on getting my money's worth. Not going to go into too much detail about what happened, the normal stuff. Funny thing was, this Albanian woman spoke no English at all. I did manage to find out she had a young son and lived in Bedford. I was that impressed with our sign language communication that I thought she'd be worth knowing outside of the environment of paying for her to have sex with me. So I took a number. I remember her calling me some days later when I was back with a wife. That was a conversation that didn't go too well. Firstly, she couldn't speak English, and secondly, I was sitting next to my wife. That wrong number excuse actually works on this occasion. Or was it that my wife was so busy banging her ex-boyfriend behind my back that she just didn't care? The next day, the room looked like the Rolling Stones had stayed the night. The TV had actually not gone out the window, but had actually fallen off the table. I tidied the room, go downstairs, pay the bill and fuck off to work. £1,000 later.